welcome or welcome back to the Mild Feminist channel. I'm Paige and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. So this is just like a really random video, kind of gonna be a short video talking about what my next series is gonna be. So I'm gonna be doing a full series on what I'm calling adult sex education. And I'm very excited about it. I wanted to just do this little intro video for you guys so that I can give you all the disclaimers and the topics and all that fun stuff. I'm not going to have a bunch of time at the beginning of each video to go over all this. So I just thought I'd make a whole separate video just so that all the information is in one video and then you can just watch all the sex ed videos and get educated. So yes, my series is going to be called Adult Sex Education or Adult Sex Ed, and it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to be doing lots of different videos on different topics that I feel like should be covered in a sex education, but more geared towards adults because most people learn this stuff when they're somewhat young in like school. And in my opinion, the school system has kind of failed us in that area. And it's just kind of left people more confused about their bodies and like how sex should like operate and so much more than that. And I just feel like it needs to be reintroduced maybe to us as adults, and hopefully it will be a little bit more fun than growing and changing class. That's what we call it here. So hopefully this will be a lot more fun than that. And I'm not like ragging on like teachers who have to teach this subject. I have so much respect for you because teaching young children these types of topics can be very difficult and stressful. So, you know, props to all of you guys, but I just feel like we as adults have been misled maybe a little bit and maybe not told everything. And I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about again as adults and something that needs to be normalized in conversation. So that's kind of why I'm doing these videos. All right, y'all, I just got to tell you, my sex ed teacher, my teacher in 5th grade was actually a man, and so was my sister's. And unfortunately, we were given some severely bad advice, and thank God we eventually learned that that was not the case. But one of the things that I learned was if you wanted to get pregnant, you should have sex on your period because that's when you ovulate, which is so bad. That is so not true. And another thing my sister was told by her teacher was, I mean, he obviously doesn't know, he's a male, so he like just doesn't get it, but doesn't have a period. But he actually told his class that girls who menstruate or people who menstruate should wear a tampon all day, every day, for the rest of their life, just in case you end up starting your period randomly and you'll have no idea when it's coming. So you should just wear a tampon or have a pad just in case. You know, you never know. In the middle of whatever, you could be having your period, which is true, like, you know, when you're about to start your period at the actual time it's supposed to start, but it's not just gonna happen like so randomly. If it is, that means there's something wrong. So, but you know, I couldn't believe that, like just wearing a tampon all the time, like just in case, seems like so strange to me. Obviously that's not accurate information, so that's something that I feel like happened a lot in classrooms was people were just not given good information. So here we are, a generation and the generations before us, you know, completely unaware of what's going on with our bodies and how all this stuff works. So I feel like it's important to go over it. So here we are. As I said before, this particular video is the intro slash disclaimer video for this adult sex education series that I'm doing. So this is going to have some disclaimers in it, and actually right now I'm going to be going over the topics that I'm going to be covering. I'm not going to go into detail about what those topics are going to cover. You'll just have to watch the videos to see. But know that it's going to be very fun. It's going to be very in-depth, and I've sought some advice from some of my friends and people that I know, and I've gotten some good things that I think I'm going to be covering, and I hope you all enjoy it. Okay, so let's get into the little bit of details of this, series. So what am I going to be talking about? What am I going to be covering? Well, here we go. Here are the topics. I may change up the order in how these come out, but we'll just have to see how things end up turning out once they're recorded and all that stuff. So it may not be in this particular order, but this is the order that I plan to put it in. But first we have anatomy of different types of bodies. And then I have, after that, the next video would be cycle awareness for people with uteruses. Next we have birth control and healthy contraception practices. And then we have STI awareness, and then vaginal health. And then we have types of orgasms and orgasm wellness. So that's going to be a fun one. And then we have having a good sexual relationship with yourself and a partner. And then I'm going to be going into more pregnancy type related stuff. I'm going to do a video on conception, and I may be talking a little bit about abortion in that video, just FYI. I know that's a really sensitive topic, so I'm not going to go too much into that, but there may be some references to that. And then stages of pregnancy, and then also labor and birth. So those are the topics that I currently have. That may change a little bit. I may add some things, may add another video, or even way down the line after this series is over, I may decide to add a whole nother video. So make sure you hit that little bell icon and subscribe so that you know if any of these new videos get dropped. And please keep in mind, I'm really trying to do a ton of research on all these topics to really give everyone a really good educational and fun experience. So what might happen is I may have some filler videos here and there, or there may be a couple weeks here and there where I don't post something, or a week here that I don't post something, just because I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys really good information. So I want to do all the research that I can and take my time recording them and editing them to make sure that everything is just perfect. So please be patient with me. Don't worry, videos will be coming, and I'm gonna make sure that this series is completed and everything is up to standards that I feel are great. So now on to the disclaimers for this series, and really any of my videos, because these disclaimers are going to pertain to most of my videos anyway. And I do say them a lot in my previous videos, so if you've watched any of the other ones, you may have heard some of these before. But the big one is, number one, I am not a healthcare professional. I am not a sex therapist, but I am a fertility and birth doula. So I am educated on these topics and I know a lot about them, but I am not a medical professional, so just keep all that in mind. So the next disclaimer is kind of a heavy topic for me, just because I take using inclusive language really seriously. Sometimes I use the term like you guys, just because to me, guys could mean male, female, and anyone in between. So I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but generally I try to really use inclusive language, and that's something that I take super seriously. Sometimes I slip up. I'm a cisgendered female, and so sometimes it's just, and I was raised that way, and I was raised around mostly cisgendered people, and so that's something that I was just used to saying and doing, but now I've learned a lot and I've changed how I talk to people, so I take using non-gendered language very seriously. So I plan on doing that throughout this series. Although when we're talking about, having sex and anatomy and things like that, it's really hard to find information that is non-gendered, just because people have penises and people have vaginas, and then there's people who have surgery to switch that all around, and that's totally fine. But just understand that a lot of the topics that we're talking about do tend to pertain to people who have the genitals that they were born with still and are not planning on changing that, just because for trans people, having, hormone therapy or having their SRS can really change how they are intimate with themselves and other people. And I'm just not educated enough to give really good information on that. So when we're talking about some of these topics, I'm going to try to link other YouTubers and other channels and other videos into my descriptions below, so that if anyone is looking for really good information on trans sexual health, they can receive it from other channels that would be more educated than I am about that. But with that, I am still going to continue to use non-gendered language, just because there's lots of people out there who don't identify as male or female, though they may have specific sex organs that they were born with and still have. So what I'm going to be doing, this is like my big disclaimer moment, okay? What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the term menstruators for anyone who was born with the ability to menstruate. So that basically means if you have a uterus, or you were born with a uterus and still have it, and you have a vagina and you have the ability to menstruate, whether you're on birth control or not, when I use the term menstruators, I'm talking to you. And for the other end of the spectrum, if you were born with a penis, I'm going to be, and still have your penis, I'm going to be just using the term people with a penis. That's just the easiest way to explain that. There's not really a better term for it that I have been able to find. So people with a penis is anyone who was born with a penis and still has it. So I think that that's all I have for this little disclaimer video. Please don't forget to subscribe and then hit that bell icon so that you can be notified when any of these videos come out. But until then, next up is anatomy, and I'm going to be recording that right now actually. But until then, I will see you soon. Bye!